Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this UNP 4-person dome tent. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So let me get this open. So I'm cutting this open with a knife, but I'm being very careful. I don't want to cut the tent. And the tent bag was just behind that cardboard, so you want to be careful. So here we have the tent bag, and I'm going to take a look at this on my bench and then I'll get out and I'll get it set up. I'm going to get a weight on this. I got 7.68 pounds. Let's get this open. Okay, so here we have the tent. It has some ties around it. Before we look at that, let's look in the package. So it has instructions on setting it up, and it's sewn into the package so you'll never lose them. And it's a sort of waterproof paper, so that's really nice. Now you want to set the tent up before you take it camping so you're familiar with it. So it's pretty straightforward. If you put up a dome tent before, this will be very familiar. So let's unroll this a little bit. So we have a thank you card here. Here are the poles. So these are going to be fiberglass poles, and they have metal ferrules, and they have an elastic band in them to hold them together. So you can see that there. So these will straighten out. Here we have that gear loft. And this is the stake bag. So here are the stakes. And these are steel, so there's a magnet on the back of a flashlight. They're steel stakes. Now these can still bend, but they should be pretty sturdy. And then here's this would be the fly, but this is going to be probably the same color as the tent. So you can see the material here. It's a polyester, waterproof polyester material. It looks like it has this color too. I really like that color. It looks really nice. So I don't want to get all of this out on my bench. Let's head outside and I'll get this set up. Okay, so I'm going to get this set up and I'll be speeding the video up a little bit and I'll probably adjust the camera once I get the footprint out. Okay, so I have the main tent up. Let's take a quick look at it before I put the fly on. So if we look at the bottom here, the ground tarp portion goes up around the bottom edges. So that's really nice. And then we have the tent portion, and that's approximately 21 inches. And then we have screen on the upper portion, and that's on 3 sides. And then the front is a full panel with the door. The poles go into metal pins here, so it's a traditional dome tent. And then you have clips here, and then you have sleeves at the top. And then I'll just tie this off here to those 2 poles. So now I'll get the fly on. Next we have the guy lines. So these are a black and white cord, so that should make them more visible. And then you have these adjusters here, so you can see the knot, and then it goes through the plastic. You want to pull on this loop, like so. That's where your stake's going to go. And then to adjust this, you hold on to the plastic and then pull it up and down the cord, like so. So I have the guy lines on. You can see I have the adjuster. It's, I don't know, maybe 16 inches up. And you want those at about a 45-degree angle to the tent, or in line with the pole. This one could maybe come over a little bit, but there's some leeway there. A lot of times when you're putting a stake in, there might be a root in the ground, so you have to move it back and forth a little bit. So the fly had some Velcro attaching it to the pole here, and there's also one right under here. So that guy line is going to support the pole if the wind starts blowing. So let's head inside. We have a zipper here. This is where the loft goes. I'll get it installed. So there's the loft. Now one thing I am noticing with this loft is that there is a hook up here where you could hang something like a light, and it doesn't pass through the loft. But you could actually just put a light on the loft. Now I've seen some tents where there'll be a hook that hooks into the loft and then there's a hook under the loft. So let's look around the inside a little bit. We have a pouch over here. There's a pouch on the other side. We've got a window that will zip open here. And there's tie backs for these. So you can tie to hold the door open, or you can hold the window open. And then you can see we have all that screen there. So you're going to get good ventilation here. And now this ground tarp here is gray and it's very bright. A lot of tents have black ground tarps and they're very dark. This is a very bright tent. I like that. Now over here in the corner, we have a little pass-through for electricity. Now some people don't believe you're camping if you have electricity. I say do whatever works best for you. If you are at a campsite with electricity, you could use that to plug in a CPAP machine or a fan or something. That's getting to be pretty standard on tents now. It's nice it has that feature for people who do want or need it. So this is a 7x9 tent. Let me get my tape measure out. Okay, so I did a quick measurement on it and I got 7x9. It's a little hard to measure because it curves up, but it seems to be 7x9. Now this is called a 4-person tent, but I would call it a 2-person tent. Usually I divide whatever number is advertised by 2, and that's with every tent, not just this tent. But typically people will have gear, so I would think this would comfortably sleep 2 people and their gear. But if you have another place to store your gear, then you could put 4 people in here. So the zipper works better with 2 hands when you're opening it. I am able to close it with 1 hand, and it does have a zipper at the bottom. See, if I come around here, it can help to hold this while you're pulling up on it. And I measured the height in here, and from the bottom to the top, it's about 4 feet. Now when you have that loft in there, it removes about 2 inches. So it's about 46 inches to 48 inches of height in the very center. So that's the UNP 4-person dome tent. If you're looking for a basic dome tent, I think this is a great option. Very easy to set up, has all the features you'd expect out of a dome tent, but it doesn't have a bunch of extra stuff. The materials seem to be of high quality. I like that ground tarp comes up over the edge. And it's also relatively lightweight. So this would be great for family camping. This would also be great for like scout troops. Scout troops will often have tents of this size, so 2 or 3 scouts can share the tent. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.